Bitcoin has exploded over the last few days, but I think this is just the beginning. We could see a God candle that sends Bitcoin up $100,000. Now, I want to explain that that's not coming from me. That's coming from an OG in the crypto space. It's been around for a very long time. Has some news that he just broke today about a massive amount of Bitcoin that could possibly be bought by a sovereign wealth fund. Someone from the Middle East, a country from the Middle East, wants to go out and buy a crap ton, a metric crap ton of Bitcoin. Literally, they want to pile in enough money that is, it sounds like they're going to pile in half of what Bitcoin's market cap is right now in new cash to gobble up Bitcoin. And this person thinks that it could absolutely explode the price of Bitcoin. We also have some other things that set Bitcoin up to move up massively. Now, if you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification underneath the video. If you're offended by me saying God candle, that's a common term. If you are saying, hey, there's no way that Bitcoin's going to go up $100,000, then that's fine. You can think whatever you want, but we have to cover what could happen here. And the possibilities are massive. Now, I will say, if you want to go trade, this is something that's higher risk, but I was able to make a lot of money from trading over the last month and a half or so. We have a 400% gain basically on Bitcoin on Margex. If you want to do that, there's a link underneath the video. There's no KYC. There's no VPN that you need. They just ask you your email and your password that you want to create. And yeah, you can set up yourself to make massive amounts of money. This is, like I said, about 400% gain. I have another one over on Blofin. So I would set up two different accounts, one on each of them, because you never know if one of them is going to freeze up when there's a huge move or something like that. Now, I've never had that happen with these, but they happen with like Coinbase, Crypto.com, those websites all the time. This one is on lower leverage. It's only on 4x leverage compared to 30x, but it's still at 53%, and I put a lot more money in it. This is about a $1,000 position. Now, they're also running a giveaway right now where you can win an iPhone 15. You also get some perks for signing up under my link. Same thing with Margex. You get a deposit bonus to cover fees as well. So check out those links underneath the video. Now, the crazy thing is, right, we've had this big move on Bitcoin. It is a big move. 5% in a day. We had constant green days before that. We'll show that in a second, how many green days we've had. But this could just be the beginning. This could be a relatively small move compared to what we've seen in the past. I mean, we've seen it where we hit 40,000 and within 2 weeks, we went all the way up to 55,000, 54,000. So we've had $14,000 moves in 2 weeks, so $1,000 a day for 2 weeks straight. We've had that. Now, over the last month, it's been kind of crazy too. 35K to 42K. That's great. But that's a $7,000 move over a month. So this is only like 1/4 of the move that we saw last bull run. That big move that we had. Now, Max Kaiser said we could actually see a $100,000 uptick in Bitcoin. Now, he doesn't say if it's in a day or something. He just says $100,000 uptick. It will shift the global axis of wealth and power in one tick. So he says, I have one word for you, $100,000 Bitcoin God Candle fans, Qatar. The rumors are getting pretty loud on this. Their sovereign wealth fund rumored to buy $1.5 trillion of Bitcoin. I mean, that's massive. Now, there are pictures underneath the video where someone from Qatar is meeting with the president of El Salvador. I don't know if that's just because they think that that is the signal, but Max Kaiser wouldn't say this unless he had some pretty good information, and this is being spread all over the place. Now, some people might be saying, hey, they couldn't buy $1.5 trillion worth of Bitcoin because there's not that much on exchanges. There's like 2 million Bitcoin on exchanges right now, and that's true. They would have to go buy it, and they'd probably try to buy over the counter. They'd buy from people that want to sell in large chunks. They'd run out pretty quickly because 70% of the supply is illiquid for the last 1 year. So that means that there's maybe, $250 billion worth of Bitcoin that's even moved in the last year. there are a lot of people that aren't willing to sell. Now maybe they say, hey, we'll go pay you a premium if you have 10,000 Bitcoin or more. We'll pay extra. But the fact is that they are in an oil economy there, and they're looking for a new way of growth. What better way than to go buy a metric crap ton? This would send up the price significantly. Like Max Kaiser says, $100,000. That would push the market cap to 2 trillion, 2.5 trillion, somewhere around there. And then they would still own about a fifth of the overall supply. Now that won't happen either, because as soon as someone sees Qatar buying that much, if they start buying tens of billions of dollars, not even $500 billion, if they start buying tens of billions of dollars, maybe even billions of dollars, other countries are going to start buying. Other people are going to start buying. I mean, look at this address. This address has been buying Bitcoin heavily since midsummer. 100 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin, 100 Bitcoin. This is all in one day here. They bought Bitcoin like 6 or 7 times in one day, 100 Bitcoin each time. That seems to be their money spot. Most of these buys are right around 100 Bitcoin. Of course, you have the odd 613 Bitcoin in a day, in addition to their 100 Bitcoin. But then you see a couple sells here, right? But then they accumulate again. So they take a little bit of profit, barely anything. I mean, we're talking about, 3 or 4% of their portfolio in each of those. And then yesterday, they bought 14 times. They bought 100 Bitcoin 14 times, and they just keep on smashing the buy. I mean, these are the types of things that cause Bitcoin's price to go up really fast. I mean, of course, we don't know if they were buying OTC or if they already had this Bitcoin or if they did buy new Bitcoin, but I'd be surprised if they had Bitcoin in another wallet and they were just constantly funneling 100 Bitcoin a day. That wouldn't really make sense to me. And these small buys tell me that it probably is that they're just smash buying. I mean, they're buying all the way up from 36 all the way up to 41. It doesn't matter the price. They just buy more and more. So people like this continue to buy Bitcoin. We have countries buying Bitcoin. We have institutional asset flows showing that people are still buying Bitcoin here. We had 176 million overall, 132.8 million going into Bitcoin, 31 million going into Ethereum. Now, they're not the only ones buying. We have some news. Well, I think we start to see retail buying here soon recently as well. Of course, a lot of retail has been buying the whole time. But we also know that there are spot ETFs that are going to be approved too, and they're just going to smash buy as well. There's not going to be enough over-the-counter Bitcoin. People are just going to start buying Bitcoin on exchanges, pushing up the price. I talked about this post yesterday, maybe the day before, but there's not a lot of Bitcoin left to go around for all these ETFs, especially BlackRock, companies that really want to hold a significant amount of Bitcoin. Like, it's going to be insane what comes in the next year. Willy Woo is a bull on Bitcoin, but he's been bearish on the market for a while now. I think he just recently flipped. He said it's very likely that we're on the eve of a Bitcoin spot ETF. The first commodity ETF was SPDR, Spider Gold Trust. It provided a simple way for investors to access gold in their portfolios. When it launched, gold went on an 8-year rally with no single down year between 2005 and 2012. I mean, keep in mind that was a time too where markets were in shambles. That was throughout the 2008 crisis, and gold continued to move up. Of course, there was a slight dip a couple times, right? Maybe a 20% dip or so, but it just continued to rally upwards after that. Imagine if that's what happened with Bitcoin. Now, I think it would actually be much faster for Bitcoin. I think we'd see a lot more of a move than this, but this is still a massive move from $200 to $1,600 over 8 or 9 years. That would be pretty good for Bitcoin. Now, I think that it will actually move faster. Money flows are faster. Bitcoin offers even more benefits, more utility, more finite supply than something like gold. So I think this is just an idea for what could happen. Now, we also have record amounts of Tether. Take a look. It's this darker green back here. 15.23 billion in Tether are held by the top 10 largest USDT exchange wallets, most since June 2022. So people have been loading up on USDT, waiting to buy different things. At the same time, Bitcoin's supply is down to 5.38%, lowest since December 2017. Keep in mind, at that time, we just had a lot more Bitcoin hit exchanges because miners were selling a significant amount. They were making a lot more Bitcoin, or they were mining a lot more Bitcoin. So they would sell it off and it would hit the exchanges faster. So we've had this inflection point where there's massive amounts of money and there's less to go around. This is kind of what's happening in the general economy too. We have record amounts of money in money market funds, and yet assets are still moving up. So that shows that people are buying, but yet there's still a lot of people sitting with cash on the sidelines. So that's nuts. This could God candle Bitcoin pretty quickly. Can we make that a verb? God candle Bitcoin? I think so. I think we can do whatever we want. So all these ETFs coming in. We have countries now talking about coming in. We already know some countries are. We have companies like MicroStrategy about to buy another $750 million worth of Bitcoin, massive amounts of cash on the sidelines. And yeah, just get ready for your friends and family to start asking if they should buy crypto, because it's bound to happen. We're getting to levels close to all-time highs. When we break all-time highs, people will start really wondering, hey, should I buy Bitcoin? They're going to keep on trying to put it off. Maybe they'll wait to see if there's some kind of pullback. Then they probably won't buy when there's a pullback, and then it'll go up, and then they'll ask you. If you want to go follow me on Twitter too, there's a link underneath the video. My Financial Fry. There are a lot of scammers out there, so make sure that you pick the right one. But this is one of the things that I kind of like about some kind of margin or some kind of leverage exchange like Blofin or Margex. Like, think about that. If we go up $100,000, that's a 2.5x. If you're on 30x leverage, that's what I have open here. That's a 75x that you would see. That's nuts. I mean, you could put in $100 and come away with $7,500, and you don't even have to bet on some altcoin. You could bet on something like Bitcoin and then just wait it out. Now, I'm not saying to go do that. Do your own due diligence, but there are a couple positions I have open that I'm just never going to close until where I probably think we are at the next bull run top or close to it. I'm going to sit on those gains. One of them I've opened that's a 7x already, and that was from like 2 weeks ago. So if we fall back down, I'm just going to write it out. I'm going to see how high I can get that thing, because I'd love a cool 100x on Bitcoin. Imagine that. So that's something that's pretty cool. Now, I don't do that with much of my portfolio. Like I said, it's more for TA and to get some dopamine. It's fun. And I think it does help you with position risk management and just timing the market a little bit better. Now, I don't believe in fully timing the market. I dollar cost average throughout the entire bear market. If you want to follow the channel and hear when I'm buying and selling, you can do that. I'm pretty open and honest with it. And the fact is, I will tell you when the market's down, I will tell you that this is probably a good time to be buying, or I'll tell you what I'm doing. I am someone that's not going to fall away in the bear market, that's for sure, because I was here the entire time. So if you want to be here, continue to get the news, continue to get what's happening in the backgrounds, hit subscribe. Check out the links underneath the video. You can follow me over on Twitter as well. I'll see you in the next.